Gosh. Yeah, it's me. It's Roland Jones from Talking Songs here. How are you doing out there? It's a glorious day here in sunny Cheadle, I have to say, and I shall be going and making the most of it, as they say, this afternoon, and going for a walk with my good lady. So I just thought I'd drop in and say hello and just give you a bit of a hint of what's happening next week. As you may have noticed, or may not have noticed, I don't know, we didn't have a session last week on Talking Songs because we'd gone to see Kurt Elling. Kurt Elling, who you may not be aware of, I don't know. He's not that well known in this country, I don't think. But a Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter, amazing, cool voice, great frontman, great singer, just great band. The astounding Charlie Hunter on guitar. I've been a fan of Charlie Hunter since I think '95 when I first came across an album called T.J. Kirk, which is a mixture of songs by Thelonious Monk, Rahsaan Roland Kirk, and James Brown, which is a bit of a weird combination, you have to admit. And but it's a brilliant album. It's got a track in it called something about haggis. I can't think what it is, but it's the only thing I've ever heard jazz on a pedal steel guitar. It's just astounding. But Charlie plays on that album. He plays an 8-string hybrid bass guitar made by a guy in New York called Novax, and it's just extraordinary. And since then, he's recorded loads of albums. So he was good. The drummer, I cannot find out what his name was. He wasn't the normal drummer they have, but he was astounding, absolutely astounding. And at one point, he and Kurt Elling did a sort of a battle where Kurt Elling scattered something, and then he responded on the kit, and it was just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And the keyboard player, who's called DJ Harrison, DJ Morrison. Sorry, I can't remember his name. That's sad. I'm sorry, Mr. DJ, who was brilliant. Just there, classic Fender Rhodes, or Fender Rhodes, as we prefer to call them when they speak properly. Just an amazing gig. One of the best gigs I've ever seen. And I'm not usually the sort of person who leaps about at gigs, but I found myself whooping, clapping, all the sort of stuff, all that business, and it was just brilliant. And then I thought I'd pluck up the courage to stick my head around the door and say, "That was amazing, guys." And I'd sort of momentarily thought, "Well, what should I say? What should I say?" And I came up with this thing I was going to say, and I went and I just garbled a load of nonsense saying, "Gosh, that was great, fabulous, blah 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 blah," and left thinking maybe I should have had that last pint of Asahi before I went in there. But there you go. So that's why I wasn't here last week. But I shall be back on Tuesday with Trisha, stage name Little Law, which I'm sure she will explain to us. And because I know she just put a new single out, so we'll be talking about that. She'll be playing some tunes for us. So I just thought I'd sort of I don't want to say forewarn, that sounds like it. Just let you know ahead of the day that what will be happening on Tuesday. And I shall be hosting it, and I'll sing a tune. But I think I'm going to sing a tune to you now as well. I mean, over lockdown, I found that the lack of being able to road test songs being quite inhibiting, on the basis that I don't really think a song is, in my mind, my songs aren't really there until I've actually performed them in front of a live audience, however many or however small that audience is. And therefore I've got a batch of things which are still in the sort of road testing sort of phase. And this is one that I think I played this live last week, actually. I have to think about it. But this is called Rags to Riches, or Rags and Riches, I'm not quite sure yet. And it came about through decluttering. Decluttering seems to be a big thing these days, and I'm hopeless. I'm utterly hopeless, and I can't really see anything wrong with my priceless collection of late 60s, early 70s rock magazines. I think they, someday they'll be worth something. Unlikely, very unlikely. But so anyway, but also things about clothes. I'm quite sentimental about clothes. Even this T-shirt, which is now I've had for some years, which relates to where we used to live in Italy, and that's too complex a name to explain. But so anyway, this is called. It was called Rags to Riches. I think it should be called Rags and Riches, really. So this is Rags and Riches. The coat I wore when I met you, which we shared as it began to rain. That shirt you wore as we fell in love helps me live that moment again. A jacket that cost me a fortune, I'm hoping that it might impress. But you blew me out of the water. You knew exactly how to dress. You might see a pile of old clothes. They mean so much more to me. 'Cause to me those rags are riches. A suitcase full of sweet memories. The hat that didn't really suit me, but made you happy, made you smile. The wingtips I'd wanted for ages, not thought about for a while. I love that you remembered, and you wanted to make my day. Shoes are only pieces of leather, but memories never go away. You might see a pile of old clothes, but they mean so much more to me. 'Cause to me these rags are riches. A suitcase full of sweet memories. Like the song, we're happy together. I hate it when you're not there. It's a life without a reason. Got a wing but have no prayer. Those little things remind me of all the places we've been. A movie of the life we've lived, spelled out scene by scene. You might see a pile of old clothes, but they mean so much more to me. 'Cause to me these rags are riches. A suitcase full of sweet memories. Yes, and you just see a pile of old clothes, but they mean so much more to me. 'Cause to me these rags are riches. A suitcase full of sweet memories. There you go, Rags and Riches. Oh, hello, I've got a comment on. Hello, who can this be? Oh, thank you, Patrick. You're really great. That's marvelous. Well, that's Midnight Day, that is, yeah. Thank you, mate. Yeah, that's... I'm lost for words. So that's, just a bit of a preview of what we'll be doing next week. So, in the meantime, until then, look after yourselves, enjoy the sunshine, and I'll leave you with this.